All right, this is going to be a spliced recording because for whatever reason, my Fathom kicked out, but we're now recording to the cloud on this. So you're going to get a copy of both. And maybe my editor can splice them together. But this is a great leverage tool for you to give really good value, really good dashboards. I'll click on one here. We're going to click on Ryan because he's not in my local market. But if I click on this, it's going to go into my dashboard. What's his likelihood of selling? What's his home value? Who's associated with the property? And then what activity they've had. A lot of great stuff. You can change this dashboard around. You can edit the home value. But this is going to tell you who is most likely to transact in your system. Okay. So, Fellow, I would use it. I do use it. It's better than HomeBot. And then here are some of the SOPs on when we have action triggers. Like if they see consecutive homes, this is kind of the SOP we went through. If they return to the site, what are some of the automation our VAs do? And then SOPs on suggesting homes. This is how my VAs suggest homes to people. So you'll get a copy of that. They basically just say, hey, I see you've been looking at homes online. I have time for a quick call tomorrow. Do you have time in the afternoon? GGMS will send out those. Do you want to jump on a call? If the buyer responds and wants to do a quick call, immediately inform the agent and set the appointment. So Chris, this is kind of piggybacking on what you talked about, like how do they do this? They're just going to look at my calendar, and if someone says, yeah, I do want to call, they'll just go ahead and book that. So respond to all of your tasks, respond to all of your messages, and then just use the tags in GGMS. They make it so easy. So they make it easy to where your VAs can do it. If someone says, I just bought, all they do is they apply a tag, just bought. It'll do everything. It'll do a contact delay. It'll convert them to a seller. It'll try to get their property address. It'll put them into Fellow. So one little push of the button turns the machine on. Okay, and that's the key. And then make sure all your buyers and sellers are getting retargeted on Facebook. If you don't want to hire GGMS to do it, guys, you can build this. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this right here with our video retargeting. There are enough services out there for you tell somebody, hey, I want to do some retargeting. All you do is you upload your list into Facebook and then you put together the videos that you want to go out. But these are all of the videos that we put in. And let me click on one here. I kind of showed this last time, so I don't want to go too deep into it, but if you're not retargeting, you're losing out on a lot. You're losing out on capturing the guys. Like, who here has not heard of McDonald's yet? We still see McDonald's commercials. Like, why is Coca-Cola and Pepsi still running commercials during the Super Bowl? Like, yeah, they're trying to get new audiences, but they're still just trying to retarget us. So do the same thing in your Facebook. It's super cheap. And if you want to personalize it, they're really not hard to set up. I'm sure if you got on the internet, said, in Facebook, hey, who can help me set up retargeting ads on Facebook? I'm sure there's companies out there, but that's what GGMS does here. We got 15 minutes left. Questions on this before I move on to just something else. But this is really the lead flow. What I want to try to just help you understand is, as the leads come in, they get into the machine works them, they tell you who to call, you call them, and based on the response, you put them on the next plan and the next plan. And it's just like playing chess. You're just moving pieces and you're going to pick up wins. And when people say, I'm 6 months out, you just hit 6 months out and puts them on a contact delay, right? And so get to know your CRM so well and have that automation, and then just let your 1 hour to 2 hours be booking appointments. And you're not frustrated with who to call. What questions do we have? Because I want to show you a little bit of some automation that I think you guys can implement right away to get more listings. But let's pause there and give me some feedback or questions. If we don't have any, no problem. Oh, yeah, that was Ryan. Cool. Ryan, I'll put you on the spot. What did you think of that fellow when it came over? Tell me from a consumer experience what you thought.
I liked it a lot. That's why I signed up for your site. I just wanted to see the consumer side of it. But Yeah, I did the demo with Fellow a couple weeks ago, and then I signed up about a week ago. So it's been good so far.
Oh,
And
cool. How many
yeah,
people did you dump in the database?
I think we did about 9,000.
Nice. Okay.
And we're still running
And
HomeBot like you. And I know Greg Harrelson is kind of a mentor as mine as well. And he's still running HomeBot in conjunction with Fellow because you don't want to
why
lose.
get people off it, right? If they're on it, it's 26 bucks a month. It's hard to do that. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And would you say it's for those with a good enough database? We wouldn't need this for somebody with less than 100 people, right? HomeBot is going to do it, but when you start getting in the thousands, it's probably worth it. Would you echo that?
I would. Yeah. I mean, if you have 100 people or less than 1,000, it's not worth it. But once you have like a 4 or 5,000 database, which I would expect most people on this call do, then yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, I think we uploaded 22,000 out of 35,000.
Gotcha.
Sean, what's happening, man?
Yeah, now regarding when you dump people into like one of these programs, like let's say Fellow, how does that introduction work where they're all of a sudden like, your database is all of a sudden going like receiving this new email that like came from nowhere?
It's very branded. It's going to seem like it's coming from you and your email address, and it's just going to say, "Hey, Ryan, you just demoed, so you might know it better than me." But it's very much like, hey, this is your service. This welcome email. Like this is where I'm so out of this. I don't even know how to open this email. But you can see it. I've seen it, and it looks like it's coming from you, Sean. So it's
Okay.
not this new service. They take your colors, they take your website, they embed it onto your website. So it looks really, really consistent with you.
Dave, do you want me to share my screen and just kind of show everybody what the consumer side looks like from
For
what you
sure.
see?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hold on.
So I stopped sharing. I gave you permission. What's funny was Homelight has been a great company for me, and my rep at Homelight is now at Fellow. And so he's a great guy. And that's something I can put you guys in touch with a rep. But there you go. That's my logo. Those are my colors. They just branded exactly how you want it to be branded. So if you put on like buy now, sell later on the left side, so those you can have all your USPs, which I have a buy now, sell later program, and you can work with the Dave Z Home team to move into your home now. And what's cool is like things can be so clunky. This is not. It's like just put in your info and it's those auto populate. It's so easy. Most CRMs, like if you go to like most CRMs and say I want a home evaluation, it's 1,000 things, and people are like, no, thank you. Like go to your own website and see what your home evaluation looks like. This is enter your address, and as soon as you start typing, it auto populates. Then it goes to the next screen, the next screen. Like they know that user interface. It's 10 times better than most CRMs where it's like, want a home evaluation? You're like, I don't have an hour to give you all that data. So this makes it super easy. Buying a home, home details, right? Home equity calculator. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. And then it's going to keep sending them information every other week. They're going to get an update. So cool. Thanks for sharing that, Ryan.
Yeah, welcome.
Let me share something real quick that I found super valuable that your VAs can start implementing right away. This was a call with like top 100 teams. So I'm just sharing it. They gave it to me. And I think there's some massive value here. That's not what I want. But this came out of Curator. So I think there's just dynamite stuff in here that you do yourself or your virtual assistants can do yourself. I'm just going to fly through this. But basically, if you're a top 100 team, you're doing SOI, social media, farming, leads, and branding yourself. That's where your business is coming from. You're paying for leads somehow, you're doing farming, and you got a brand running. So if you want to emulate a top 100 team in the nation, that's what you need. This is all their data about. So this is the owner of Curator. This is what he calls his ZMA, Zillow, versus CMAs. I think this is genius. So you do 5 of these a day. Go to Zillow, go to your sphere, take a screenshot of their Zillow's estimate. So take a screenshot. Your VAs can do this, and then send that screenshot via text. Hey, Sean, I was on Zillow earlier today looking for a few properties in your neighborhood. I thought I'd check out your home's estimate. It is valued here. Let me move this out of my way. I have my opinion, but what do you think? These are forced CMAs. Nobody's asking for it. Forced CMAs. It's amazing. Do 5 of them a day. Then, does anybody know what happens when you list a home? What happens to the Zillow's estimate? Does anybody here, have you tracked it? Do you know what happens to a Zillow's estimate? So what happens, Sean, do you know?
Yeah, doesn't it tend to match like what your listing price is?
100%. So if you want to advertise that you sell homes for 10% more, 5% more, Zillow's going to tell the consumer that you just get list price. Like they totally crush your, no, I sold this for more. So this is what we've started doing. Take a screenshot of your Zestimate. Like we just ordered photos yesterday for a listing on Tuesday. I'm going to screenshot the Zillow's estimate now. As soon as I list it, it's going to go there. So this is a postcard campaign. You can do it in text messages, but basically demonstrate that you sell for more by doing this. And then this is a whole postcard thing that you can do. Is like, hey, do you want to sell for 10% more? Like this was their estimate. Here's my proof. Again, you're going to get the video, so I won't stay too long and you can just pause it. But this is how somebody built out a letter campaign to demonstrate that, like how they show the pre-list estimate, boom. So Zillow might tell you I sell for list price, but that's not true. I'm going to go through again, just pause it if you want to just duplicate this. This is their relevant hook, their call to action. I think it's a brilliant postcard campaign. I'm kind of flying through so we can get through all this content and you just pause it. Now, this team made 80 grand in a week. They just reached out to everybody and say, hey, Mary, I just want to do a quick equity update for you. Looks like homes like yours are selling from here to here, depending on that. Not sure if you had any thoughts of selling, but even if you don't, I want to know where you're at. Like start doing 5 of these a day to your people, to your sphere. Then, without providing an address, post it on social media. And your VA can do this. I sold this house in 2021, did an equity evaluation on today. They've earned over 100K in equity in 2 years. If you want a free equity evaluation, just DM me. They got 3 DMs in less than 24 hours. Do a poll. This is cool. I did this. Your VA can do this. I just did an equity report. One of my clients gained 155 grand in there. Do you want an equity report? Good data that you can outsource to your VAs. They got 360 responses. And look, 164 said, no, it's 552. 204 said it was 652. And they got 8 buyer leads out of that. Engagement poll. Can you guess the price of this home? It's good post that you can do. This is really good. I like this one here. This got 20 responses. And so this is a weekly email that Brad sends out, like deal of the week. Could your VA go into the MLS, sort it by price per square foot and find the best deal? And it is the best deal. Now, it might need a ton of work, but just pick an area you want to sell in, a price you want to sell in. Don't give the details and just send out the deal of the week. That can go out by your VAs. I don't
so
know
that price per
broadcast.
square foot is what you use. Sorry. So the price per square foot is what you use for the to instruct the VA to find the deal of the week.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay.
I mean, do you think there'd be a better metric? Because
No,
that can really
great,
get
actually.
to the bottom. I think that will get us right to the bottom. Now, it might be a total fixer-upper, right? So, but you say it's a deal because of this reason. Now, I do a renovation package. I can help you renovate it, right? I can chip and Joanna Gaines it with you. I'll buy it and flip it for you. Like then it gives you so many options. It's like, let me buy it and flip it up, and now they can find you flips. But how many realtors are sending them the deal of the week? Nobody. I don't understand broadcast channels, so can't give you much on that, but but it's something I'm looking into. Like, what is an Instagram broadcast channel? So if anybody knows, let me know. It's something I'm going to start researching. Name your price email. Hi, Jimmy, could you finish the sentence for me? If I could sell my home for boom, I would list it this spring. Can't wait to hear your answer. This gal, the Coley Group, Gretchen Coley, they put it on a postcard. They got 8 listings out of it. I gotta get through this a little bit faster. This is just about calling. Kind of back to, these are the top 50 teams in North America. They call. We call people. You know, it's like you got to pick up the phone and call. So texting is a ton, but basically what this says is 2 calls are going to convert into appointments if you call 100 people. This matchmaker strategy, this is if you really do want to match, like this is cold calling now, but I know we're just kind of going into a tangent, but I thought this was super valuable. I just wanted to add it. This is you calling and saying, hey, I just sold a home, but I'm calling to see if there's a deal, do you want it? Now you have a buyer. Let's say you call your database, I call and Chris is like, dude, I want a deal. I actually do have a buyer now. And I bet I feel better about picking up the phone, being a matchmaker, saying, Mike, just talk to Chris. The reason I'm calling is because I got a buyer who would actually buy a home. I'm not sure if this is for you, but have you thought about putting your home on the market? I just got off the phone with somebody who's looking to buy in your area. So you can actually be that matchmaker. Because some people, there's those cheesy calls, like we have buyers in your area. Like go get a real buyer and then put the deal together. How much equity did you gain in 2023? Right? 4 CMAs are where you're going to get your listings and you're going to find buyers. Now, this is about going into your Facebook. So open up Facebook Messenger, go on your active contacts. You can start conversations with people. And then after you've talked to them, you're like, oh, hey, Sean, good to talk to you. One more thing. We've been talking to a lot of folks who are really struggling in this market. Not agents, but can you think of anyone in your network who hasn't been able to buy or sell that you think we can help? Buyers are missing out. So this is trying to get referrals coming from compassion. Like people are struggling. They can't sell their home. Does anybody come to mind? Oh yeah, our friends had the home on the market now. Now you just got to wait for them to come off market. I'm about to go meet a potential seller. This is a good hook that's getting a lot of openings, but I'm about to meet with the seller who's thinking about listing their home. What I can tell you is this, homes like this typically sell above ask in just a few days, urgency. If you already know that you want the details, just reply with VIP. I'll add you to my list. I'll send you more information. So you start building your VIP buyer list. Forward it to a friend. We're about to list a property. We think it's going to sell in 7 to 10 days. Boom, boom, boom. Here's my cell. They can call me directly. So this is a referral strategy based on value and not who do you know, but it's like, call if you have somebody like this. You can turn it into a letter. This is a good one too. I'm going to glance over that, let you pause it. Some of the results, again, with this is with Gretchen Coley. Here is a really good slide if you want listings. This is what we found. This is the top teams. You need 13.3 hours of prospecting to get a listing. So just do the math backwards. And that's working 260 days a year. So if you want to take 20 listings over the next 365 days, you need to spend 62 minutes on the phone, 5 days a week, guaranteed every day. You'll get 20 listings if you can convert on average. So I think this just really helps you work backwards in your conversion. Like what activities do you like? Oh, I'm going to list 40 homes this year. That's 2 hours a day, 5 days a week without ever missing a day. All right. Was that helpful? I know that was, I just went through it with a big, there's a group of 100 of us that went through it. I'm like, this is badass. I want to share this. So we're at our 12 o'clock time. So I'll stick around for, let's call it 15 minutes for some Q&A. So Marcus, I'll send you my slides. I don't know if I can send that curator slide because it's not mine. So if you don't mind just kind of screenshotting and going through it, but I don't know if I have permission to share the actual deck. I mean, I just kind of did, but let me see if I can actually get you that deck versus just a video of it, because you'll get the video. But what other questions? What else do we have?
The text messages that were being sent out were obviously pretty easy to go ahead and automate. How are you automating, like sending out like those postcards and mail pieces? Are you ordering a list? Or are you just segmenting stuff out of your database? Like, what does that look like to go ahead and gather your audience to go ahead and target for something like that?
Yeah. So here's the postcards that I send out. And I kind of put that in here. So you'll get a copy of that, the SOPs. I like these, they work. It's more of a referral postcard, but it's also, so this is the back of it. We're always looking for referrals. And then actually my SOP folder right here. And then the front of it looks like this. So that's a two-sided postcard.
Dave, you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Shane. Okay, so you see it now? So this will be the front, flexible commission, cancel anytime. When hiring the DHD home team, you're going to net thousands more, flexible commission structure, exclusive vibe for it, right? And it gives some proof of homes that we've sold. And then the back is more of like a, hey, thank you for your referrals in your business. Now, in my team agreement, your image belongs to me in perpetuity. That way I don't have to create new postcards. So I have 20,000 more of these left in my garage. I'm sending them out. So most of these people aren't with me anymore, but I own it in my team agreement. Like your image belongs to me. I do not have to take it off my marketing. I'm not producing anymore, but I'm gonna get through this because I'm a guy that buys annually or in bulk, right? And then I do have a permit, so I can do it right through the postage. That's real easy. So what I would do is this is what we do, and I have you know Avery labels. Everybody knows how to do an Avery label. What I would do is, and it's in here, is have your virtual assistants manage your Avery label every day. When a new seller comes in, here's the workflow, is they go into Fellow, and then they get 3 postcards because all they have to do is new seller lead, put it into the Avery label, send it to me at the end of the day. I don't mind printing it and giving it to my kids and here, put these 12 labels together, throw them out into the mailbox, right? So I think we stop doing it if it's like, oh, I got to write them out, but it's easy to print and maybe even just sit and watching TV or like label, like, and if you want to send out 500, if say you want to send out 500 mailers a month, I don't think it takes that long if somebody gives you the labels and you just print address, boom, postage, right? So copy that postcard if you want, I don't care, do what you want to do, but it becomes very easy when your virtual assistants create your list for you and just have that workflow. Or you can do every door direct. You can pick a route and do that. But just mail to your past clients. If you have 1,000 past clients and you mail them once a month, that you can stagger it and do 250 a week. Break that down to like 5 a day. You just like 5 a day you're putting labels on, or hire somebody in-house for it. But I do my labels. I don't think it's that hard for me to do, and just throw them in there. What else? And then I do have the GDMS training slide in here. I didn't want to go over it, but this GDMS training slide that you guys will get, this really walks through how you would use GDMS, what they're like, what the tags mean, what the plans mean, how you want to do it. So I'm just giving you the slide deck on that. Right? How, like, they basically look at, are you an engagement? Are you disqualified? Are you sensitive? And then they walk it through this way. Like, so the tags mean, when I change somebody to new to qualify, it changes the whole system. From qualified to active, it changes the whole system. So that's what I need, is just a system that when I do a simple thing, it then sets off a whole chain reaction. Right? And then the same thing with tags. So you're going to have this in your SOPs. And maybe you just want to try to duplicate it and write it out yourself. But there's no way for me to break it down this detailed. Like, I went to Tampa, Florida, and spent 3 days with GGMS at GGMS University to really learn this. So I just got on a plane, put my butt into a classroom for 3 days to learn this, and it was well worth it. And you start to see your database in a whole new way when you can learn how to do all this stuff with your landing pages and the videos. And then this is the key, work the responses. You just have to work the responses. All right, what else? Can you give us a staff list of who you have on the VA side of what their job schedule is? Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably put something officially together. I'll have Ia, my chief VA, she kind of manages everybody, but we just have daily checklists and tasks to do, and they just have to manage those tasks as they come in. So they're all into our SOPs, but we'll see what we can put together. What
Hey,
else do
Dave.
we have?
Yeah, just to be clear on the GGMS stuff,
Yes,
like
sir.
in a lot of our CRMs in the past, we've gone through, I mean, we've been doing like follow-up and drip campaigns for half a decade now, right? Been building these things out by
Right.
hand, 30-step, long-term, 180-step, like all these long like step processes. From what I'm understanding on this GZMS, like you aren't even like customizing or altering any of this stuff. Like this is all already put together for you, and you just organically tag the next step in where that lead's natural progression is going to be, and it just picks up and runs with it until they raise their hand again. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, that's a good way to explain it. So I'm sharing my screen again. Can everybody see it? So yeah, that's exactly it. So it's behavioral based. So they're going to do it for you. So because they did this behavior, you can see this is the workflow that GGMS auto applied now to do this. Now all those tasks are going to run out. And if they were to say, I'm not interested, or I just bought, you would come into the tag and let's just say not interested. There's an automatic lead flow. You click on that, it's going to then run out in perpetuity until that's to your next one. Super simple. Like just said, there's going to be a contact delay, and then it'll pick it up again. So you can just say like window shopping, automatic window shopping. It's now going to send out new text messages, new emails. It's now going to try to convert it the way it needs to do. And so this is built by realtors for realtors. Like Mike Gallagher runs a big team, and so does Josh. And they're like, we have all of these built. Let's just launch a company. And so if I come into automations, I want to say there's over 380 automations that are built out with this GGMS. And it's just a if this, then that, if this, then that, right? That's how a computer works. So there's 381. If this happens, then this happens. And then when it happens again, you're like, oh, do this. So you're just kind of, and that's where your VAs can manage some of those things that aren't important, right? And you're not outsourcing the core competency of that conversion. And so it's putting on the right tag. So every lead I see is like, what's the next thing that needs to be done with this lead, right? And so they don't just get trashed. You are always recapturing them. So that's why I paid the price for them, and they're $500 a month to do all of that. Like that's one commission, and I hate selling things on a commission. But if this gets you 20 closings, right? Because you know who to call. Just think of this: if without this type of automation, the studies show you're going to contact 7% of your people. This is going to bring it to 35 to 40. That's worth it right there for me. I just want to talk to 40% of the calls, and I don't want them to hang up on me. Like, this provides it because it tells you what to do. So yeah, it's once you learn this, you're good to go. And then they update it, they make improvements. And so they're always managing what needs to change and be improved. And if you just got to become a master at this and have some people trained on it as well, and you can just dump as many people into the system as you want and let people raise their hand.
So if I'm understanding it correctly, like you're not even making a decision on where it goes from there. You're just listening and then applying what their responses are to you. Brother has a realtor, type it in. Window shopping, type it in. And there's something that will very likely match up to that will automatically pick your next step for you. It's almost as if you don't have to do anything but just be there to listen, understand what their pains and their needs are, and where their potential next step might going, or what their hangups, their stopping blocks are. You type that in, and it's off to the races, and you're on to the next one.
On to the next one, and then it's going to send out a text message and an email, right? I already bought. Put the already bought, and then it'll give them some time, and it'll say, hey, one of the things that people find helpful is that we just send them an update of what their home is worth. If that would be helpful to you, what's the best address? Some people are like, take a hike, dude. I don't want to talk to you. Fine. It's just something, but what would be the best thing? Like when I audit my database from the last 15 years with team members, what do you think they did when somebody says already bought?
Dead.
99% of the time they say nothing, dead. Now we can revive them and get them into the fellow and put them on a seller trip. But now they're going to get on a long-term buyer campaign. So what about in a year, they start getting messages about buying? That's what's going to happen. So it's it's a short play and a long play. It's going to give you your hand raisers now. It's going to book appointments that say, hey, Chris, I saw you've been looking at homes online. I got time between 10 and 2 tomorrow or 10 and 5. Which one works better for you? And then when someone says, I just bought, they're going to get followed up within a year. A year like that, like the system will just put them on a delay. And then 2 years from now, you're like, oh, wow, this person reached out. So you'll never lose a lead again in a system like this, where I lost leads for years and years and years and years. I didn't know who was who. And then I bring in another realtor, then they would work them and not follow up. And it's like they would trash them. Oh, my brother's a realtor, trash. I was like, geez, they maybe in 7 years they buy again. Maybe in 11 years I can convert them. Why are we trashing them? So
Maybe they have a
I
fight
think
with their brother. They're like, I don't want my family involved in my
maybe they're
business
one of the
anymore.
95%. Yeah, maybe they're part of the 95% that aren't in the business in a few years from now. So, so again, I'm not here to do a dog and pony show for GGMS, but I don't have a better way to convert my leads with leverage. This is what's allowed me to get rid of people that were taking half of my commission, right? Because I wasn't running a business where they brought in all their sphere. Over 80% of the Dave Z Home Team closings were mine. So why don't I just work them, right? Sean, what's up, buddy?
Yeah. Regarding I think you mentioned this before. So they only work with Sierra Interactive, basically. Is that right?
They do, and I don't like that, but it is what it is. And I'm not saying this is the only route. I would say take this, and if you're in love with like Follow Up Boss, like TextBerry is an add-on. See if you can just find something that has all this automation and just get to know it better. Because I'm not in the business of having people switch CRMs, but a lot of people have. Once I've shown them this, and once I show them, look at this appointment, right? Like eventually I had somebody leave their CRM. They're like, dude, you show me you get appointments every day, and my system isn't doing that. So, but I'm not here to promote them. But yeah, you can see like lead said, I have an agent, no doc signed. I have an agent. There's all these different iterations. I am searching for someone else, right? So I could not do what I do without this, flat out. I already purchased, you just apply the tag and move on. And can your VA apply that tag so you can move on to somebody else? Heck yeah. Now I'm banking for future business. So yeah, Sean, I don't know why they can't outsource it. Like try to figure out how do you get into other CRMs. but I don't know what that logistics, or start your own CRM. I don't know.
So basically,
I'm curious what CRM you guys are using.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Sean. Finish that.
So do you use
what was your question?
Do you use an additional CRM, or is Sierra Interactive your CRM, period?
Yeah, just Sierra. Then I do have that Go High Level for the webinars, because they run that webinar, but then we still funnel them into Sierra. So yeah, Sierra is our main hub. But no, guys, I couldn't run this system without this, because these 381 plans and VAs can duplicate 6-7 buyer agents, is what I have found. So you can have the buyer agents do it when they feel like it. Don't do it when they don't feel like it, or you can have this system do it and you just start overseeing it a little bit, right? All right. Good questions, guys. Any feedback for this week that you can give me? no
Man,
feedback.
Dave, thank you so much for being generous with your
Okay.
time on this one. Obviously, we covered a lot today, and all of it was really targeted on the conversion side of this thing. So, thank you for just opening the hood on how your operation runs and how you're able to really maximize your time on the conversion aspect of this. I think this section of your program here really opened our eyes as to just how like efficient you are with your time through utilizing and leveraging like these specific 8 tools.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Chris. Yeah, it is. It's going to allow you to sell a lot of homes if you just know what to focus on, spend your time there, kind of delegate everything else, right? This is kind of where this is where I'm hoping to bring this to as many agents as possible. It is we can do a lot more with these right systems. And I wrote a buyer offer yesterday. I've never seen him, never met him, never been in the house. We're countering back and forth. So the system is just working. And I'll tell people, you just kind of find yourself in the way of more transactions. Like you're just getting in the way of people because you let the system work. You call the people that want to be called and then ask them if they want to go see homes. And if we can shift our mindset to just, we got to stay here though. If you're not willing to do this work, then don't do this. Like go get a different job. Like if you just stay in this seat or what I call the cash register, then the rest can happen without you, and it's a much better experience. But some people want to get out of the cash register and they want to go sit in an open house, and I get it. But me, it's how can I spend a couple hours a day doing this, and then it's allowed me to run this webinar. It's allowed me to do other things. It's allowed me to run other businesses because I'm not banging my head against the wall trying to figure out who to talk to. So but it doesn't take away. If you have call reluctance, this is a bad way to run it, right? So. All right, guys, next week we are getting into the consult. I'm going to break down my buyer consultation, my seller consultation. You'll get those slides so you can copy them and take them, do what you want with them. But you'll see when I get to an appointment, how do I want to run that so I can get buy-in from the clients to work the way I want to work. That's next week. So send me any questions ahead of time that you have on that and any questions on this, but we'll be back next week. Hopefully I'm okay. I've got 3 home vomiting with 102 fevers. I was supposed to be out to Disney tomorrow with one of my kids. We canceled that. I'm hoping I don't get it, but I had to have a paramedic at the house putting 100 or 1,000 milliliters into a 50-pound, 8-year-old. Like she was super dehydrated. So we got something going on. So I'm hoping we don't have to cancel. I won't unless I have to do it from the bathroom. Otherwise, we're going to be on point. And we're ready. So you can send some prayers my way so we can get rid of this virus. It's been pretty nasty. So I appreciate you guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday.